So it finally came. It's my first ever pilot watch. Nearing the final steps of my private pilot license, so the check ride and everything like that. I've done a couple cross countries, and I needed a watch to keep the time in, but I decided just to go for it all out at the same time by purchasing the Garmin D2 Bravo pilot watch, because I found it for an excellent deal on eBay. But it was actually sold from Sporties on eBay, and it was listed as brand new, so you couldn't go wrong. But anyways, let's see what's in the box. So if you look at the box, when you first open it, take the cover off, and you have the watch itself. That's a pretty good size. I'd say it's about a good 1.5 to 2 inches in diameter. Inside the box, we have a Garmin 6 months free, probably on the Garmin Pilot app. That's exactly what that is. We have, looks to be a USB charging cable. Has that 4-prong thing, probably go on the back of the watch. We have some adjustment screws, and they're probably to help you take off the leather band in case you want the optional black sports band, which is in the package too. So they include 2 different bands with the leather one installed. I'm probably going to keep the leather one on there, but just in case you want a more sporty look, you have that there. And also, you have the main AC adapter, I believe it is, because that looks like where the adapter would plug in. Power adapter, exactly. And then you can decide what adapter you want to use. We're in the US here, so we have the 2-prong. On the bottom of that, we have directions. The watch itself has a nice brown leather band. Again, very big display. And buttons on the side. So that is the unboxing. I'm gonna take this out, learn all about it, use it, and we'll see how it goes. Alright, so it's been a couple months now with the D2 Bravo watch. Remember, this is not the titanium version of the D2 Bravo. This is not the D2 Delta PX, which is the newest one designed for general leadership pilots like myself. But this watch has served me well. I could not afford a $500 watch, nor would I want to during training. I did need a watch during cross countries, obviously, to keep track of waypoint times and stuff, and so I went out looking for one of these Garmin watches, and I have no problems buying the D2 Bravo, even though it's one of the older style watches. The watch itself, honestly, has taken a beating. You can see that I work out with it. I do everything. I do a lot more than just flying with it. But overall, for flying, I use this with the simulator when I'm training at home. Use it obviously when I fly. Great thing about this watch when flying is that as soon as you take off from the ground, it starts logging you, as long as you have everything hooked up to your app, which is the Garmin Connect app right here. And you'll see that it does a lot more than that. It tracks by exercising and stuff like that. But if you go to activities on the app, and go to all activities, it'll show you everything you did, and these are all the flights I took. And it's really cool because it'll tell you how far you went, distance, how long you were flying, and it'll even show you a map of what you did while flying. And I've actually posted these to my personal Facebook for friends to follow when I do flying. This was maneuvers the other day. We're getting ready for the private pilot oral and flight check so I can become a private pilot. And we did some steep turn and stuff. But it's amazing, so it'll integrate with Google Maps, so you can actually see like satellite view of where you flew and stuff. It is amazing, and it tracks everything. And you don't have to do anything. You just have to set up with the app, and then you start flying, and as soon as you start flying, it starts tracking you, as long as you're wearing the watch or the watch is with you in the cockpit. So that is an amazing feature in itself for flying. Other things I find useful on the watch, one of the features I like best is that it has backlight on everything, so you can see it at night in the cockpit or whatever you need. And it has METAR as one of its standard apps on it. It shows you if it's VFR. This is Taunton, which is closest airport to my house. And if you just hit the start button, it'll go through all the weather and altimeter settings to tell you when it was issued. It'll show you if the conditions are VFR, minimum VFR, IFR, so you have no problems there in what you're going to do. Then I'll also get the closest terminal aerial forecast for where you are. You can also set this for the airport you usually fly out of. Like, I never fly out of Taunton. I've landed there a couple times. But if you want to enter a new setting, you just push the start button, you enter station, and we'll put Plymouth in there, which is where I fly out. So we got Kilo Papa Yankee Mike. And it will keep this on there as long as you don't select nearest airport. It'll update the METAR for whatever airport you need. It has to be synced to your phone through Bluetooth to make this happen. Also, with these Garmin watches, you can download many apps. You could change watch faces right here. This is the watch face I like the best on my watch, and it's like a gray color, but it has the universal time there, and it has the battery meter here, and it has just a general thing. It has altimeter if it's set, and the day and date. So that's why I like that one. This right here is a step counter. This is where I start getting to the other things I like about this watch. I've been trying to lose weight with exercise and everything like that, especially seeing I want to be a pilot for quite a while. This is a step counter. You can download that. I think it actually comes standard. I can't remember because it's been a couple months. But I think this comes standard where if you're exercising or just walking, you'll keep a step count there. You have a compass in there, so you can have that wherever you need to. Awesome thing to have. Has an altimeter. Again, I think I downloaded this app. It's the Garmin Connect App, which you use to connect it to Garmin, and they have different apps that you can download. Again, the METAR app, which I find highly useful, especially if you're going to see if you're going to fly that day with visual flight rules. Notifications from your phone is always a great thing. It'll keep popping up notifications. However, if you're flying, it will not pop up notifications, so you won't keep getting notifications while you're flying, because you're going to use the watch for navigation possibly. And then again, this is an activity counter with flying. You can get this from the Garmin Connect app again, and this will track your calorie usage during the day. We're very early in the morning here, so it resets every 24 hours, starting at midnight and moving on from there. But if you're active, it'll log that in the Garmin Connect app, and it also has resting calorie count. So that's awesome if you're watching calories like I am to lose weight. Temperature, if you want to use that, and then the elevation, push start. It says no GPS, but that's because, oh, there we go. It does connect the GPS on everything. I haven't really had a problem. You might have to wait a little bit. It might be a little delayed, but it will eventually connect the GPS. Okay, this is a METAR app that I downloaded, and I'll show you METARs of whatever airports you want. This is in Newport, Rhode Island. That's in New Bedford. Oops, sorry. This is in Providence and Taunton. It just shows you what the conditions are, and then it goes back to the watch face. That is just a general overview of what you have in here, but this will track your steps, your exercising. It will hook up with the Garmin Connect app, which is excellent for different activities, but again, we want to know why this watch is useful for flying. For flying, when you have the watch here, the backlight button's right here. So there's a little learning curve to learning how to use the watch, but it's not that bad. But if you push start at any time, it's going to go to the flying portion here. These are the main apps. So if you push fly, it's going to load up the GPS and everything. It's going to show you your altitude in GPS, your heading, vertical speed, and it also has your speed when you're moving. It also has universal time on top, Zulu time, so that's amazing. And this is the timer. So if you push start when you first take off, you can track all your waypoints on cross countries and everything like that, which is what I do, whether I plan on cross country and flight simming or if I'm flying for real. So that's the timer I watch when I do it. If you push down, it goes to other settings. It's going to find your nearest airport. It's going to have a bearing to it, estimated time of entry, the distance, and the heading. So this is graphically now. If you set it up to where you want to go somewhere, it will show you graphically where you are with airports around you. And then it has just instruments in general, barometer, altitude, speed, heading, vertical speed. We're not moving, we're not in a plane right now, so that's why it says 0. And again, it goes to nearest. If you hold this button down right here, it's going to pop up all the nearest airports. If you're in trouble and you need to land and you need to find the nearest airport, you can use this watch. So as you see, it just found the GPS, and the nearest airports are, you have one Mike 8, 6.1 nautical miles, and a heading of 87 degrees. Taunton, which is Kilo Tango Alpha November, 7.7 nautical miles, 72 degree bearing. 1 Bravo 9 is Mansfield, it's 10.1 nautical miles, and that should be north of us. Providence, fourth closest, 13 nautical miles, a heading of 239 to get there. New Bedford, 13.7 nautical miles, 133 degrees to get there. This is my old stomping grounds. That's where I grew up. That's 14 nautical miles away, 209 degrees. Then you have a private airport. So if you have emergency, you can find private airports. Again, just a bunch of airports. That's Quonset, Newport, Rhode Island. So it shows you the closest airports and a bearing instantly. So you can go towards that airport and know how close you are. Just another great aspect of this pilot watch. So I'm going to stop the stopwatch. Now what I'll do when I flight sim is I'll do cross country and everything, but I will not save it. I will just discard it. You could save it, and then I'll save it in the Garmin Connect app like I already showed you. If I discard, and I just use it like I do in real life, except I'm not going to save the data because I'm just sitting in a seat doing a flight simulator. It has a find phone function. I've used this a lot, and you know, I used to have to log in to find my phone. And that definitely works, but again, if it can be connected to Bluetooth and it's within 30 feet, just push the find phone, start, and it rings your phone like that. It flashes a light and everything. And these bars over here to show you how close you are to your phone. So it does like hot and cold, and also gives you that with that. It's great to have this watch on me and push find my phone, and I instantly find out. I don't have to waste time. I don't have to be there for 10 minutes trying to find my phone. They have other things here too. Project Waypoint, which is basically where it has GPS. You can put in your waypoint and it'll project it. It also has Pilot Sync, which will sync stuff, the app. Run, again, that'll sync to the Garmin Connect app. Walk, I don't use these per se because I use some apps on my phone to track my running, but you can customize this to what you want. You could take it off or on with the Garmin Connect app. If you ski or you snowboard, they have that. Swimming for activities, it'll log that. Biking, and Skywatch is actually pretty cool. I've done, this is one I downloaded, and you could stargaze with the D2 Bravo watch. And you know, again, there are a bunch of apps that you can download. Depends on what you want to do with it. You have all these activities that you can log and this and that. It tells you where the sun is. Sun rises at 5:18 in the morning. So you know, just cool things that you could do with the watch other than just fly with it and track it, which honestly, and also using instruments, which would basically be your main functions here. If you log in one of those airports, by the way, it'll give you almost like a VOR tracking type deal where you have to center the needle and it tells you if you're on track with GPS. So the Garmin D2 Bravo watch has been amazing so far. So the ultimate question, would I buy the D2 Bravo watch knowing what I know now? Definitely. Would I buy the D2 original watch which came before this? Probably not, because this is out there if you look for it, and you can definitely find it. I would definitely like the heart rate monitor. I think that'd be cool for me because I do use it for exercise to track my steps, but it is what it is for flying. It's perfect. Pros has everything you ever need in it, except for the one con, which is it being that you need to subscribe to Garmin updates if you want to update the database in this. And for me, that's not a big thing right now because one, I kind of know the airports in the area, know which ones are still open, and two, I'm just using it for mostly cross-country flights, planning and keeping waypoints and times like that. So it's just a general watch for me with a lot of extras in it for the future. If you want more advanced features, go with the newer models, but you're gonna be paying more. This was definitely in my price range here, especially with training and everything. So I do highly recommend the D2 Bravo pilot watch if you're looking for an, I don't even want to call it entry level, but if you're looking for your first pilot watch that's a smart watch at the same time and has all these capabilities, the D2 Bravo is still an excellent buy. If you'd like to look into the Garmin pilot watches, I'm going to leave some links below on Amazon to models that they currently sell on Amazon. If you want to support the Eric DIY channel, please look at those watches, and if you're planning on buying one, use those links. And if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up and push the subscribe button below. Push on that bell notification icon while you're down there to be notified of future Eric DIY video releases. We appreciate all your support. I hope that you like this review. Thank you and have a great night. As always, if you like this video, found it useful, please subscribe. And if you have a product that you would like reviewed, please contact Eric by emailing him at eric5150diy@gmail.com. Have a great day.